All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here at Listings to Leads. Welcome to the call today. We're going to be going through marketing listings to get buyers and sellers. So if you are a client, I'd love to have you log into your account while we're doing this so you can actually do some of this with me. You can do some of it later, but at least you can get a lot of it ready to go while we are together. Ask questions as we go through this, of course. If you're not a client, you can sign up for a free trial and do everything that we're going to do together, either live if you're with us right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you pause the video, do whatever it is that you need to do as we're doing it here. You can restart the video and keep doing it. So with that, I'm going to log into my account. I'm at listingstoleads.com. And when you log in, you'll be on the dashboard, and I'm going to click on listings. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is if you do not have a listing, I highly recommend that you borrow a listing to market every single week. You want to be marketing a listing for sale. It's really one of the best ways to generate seller leads along with buyer leads. I manage a couple of accounts for clients, and we see a fair number of the buyer leads coming in. Well, first of all, marketing coming soon, just listed, and active listings coming like $3 a Facebook ad. With all the other tools that we got, you can get quite a few free leads. You got some paid leads as well. So a lot of great ways to generate leads, and a fair number of them are going to be seller leads as well. Matt, have a cost per lead question. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions as we go through this. If I don't get to every single one of them as you ask, I'll try to make sure I get to them at some point during the call today. But so think about trying to make sure that you got, it could be the deal of the week. It could be new construction, a listing that you borrow from another agent in your office. But having a listing is what's going to keep you in the market, keep you in the game, keep you visible with your audience on all the different platforms, all the different, your database, right? Social media, all that great stuff. So try to make sure that you've always got a listing that you're able to market every single week. As much as possible, try to make sure that that lead or that listing is going to be in a good area where you want to generate buyers and sellers, that you're at a good price point. So don't go too high or too low. Sometimes I'd be careful a little bit of new construction, especially if the photos aren't amazing. All right. Photos matter when you're marketing listings. And a lot of times new construction, the photos, can be not great. So just always pay attention to the listing that you're going to market, both in the location, the price point, how it looks. All right. Marketing empty listings. All right. Listings that have no furniture. There's nothing in that property, and you're just showing a bunch of empty rooms online. Again, not as good as marketing a listing that looks great both on the outside and on the inside. All right. So Matt says, why when I $2 and then open house just listed? You know what, Matt? Great question. And I put a link at the top of the webinar. So if you look at the top of the webinar, you're going to see this link right here, listingstoleads.com/blog, and scroll down to the third post. And I'll talk a little bit about this on the call today. Struggling with Facebook ads. And what I recommend, this is an hour-long call right here, and I get into it with a client, and we just walk through essentially the results of 10 weeks of running Facebook ads. And then below this video, you're going to see here is another video. And in this video, I walk through some of the common mistakes that you can make. So if you're generating leads at $10 a lead, in this video, I walk through the steps to take to make sure that you're not going to do that for too long. $10 a buyer lead. You should be at $3, coming just listed, coming soon, active, typically around $3 to $4, depending on where you're at. Open house could be like $1 more. I don't know why open house tends to be just like a little bit more, and that's been that way for years. I've noticed that for years. But the good thing about open houses is the fact that you're going to be able to meet a lot of these people. So, we are doing the open house call today at 5 o'clock. I recommend doing open houses every single week, especially when you're building your business. If you're not closing a deal a week, you should be doing open houses every single week as the best way to start engaging both buyers and sellers in your local area. All right, open houses, when you combine open houses with the other marketing that we do with Listings to Leads, you are going to be on a path to getting a deal a week within a few 2 to 3 or 4 months. All right. So yeah, open houses are phenomenal. Oh yeah, no, Matt, no, I don't want you generating $10 buyer leads. So I'm right with you, man. That's again, system-wide average. Across the country, the average is going to be like $3 to $4. And even in the high, even in the areas where you're spending like, maybe Houston or, Los Angeles, maybe, right? Or whatever, $6 to $7 should be on the high end. So yeah, if you're doing $10, this video right here is what you're going to want to take a look at. And then take a look at my 10 commandments of the Facebook ad strategy. I did not start off doing the 10 commandments idea. I literally just wrote this all out. There was 10 items, and so I was like, well, perfect. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah, $100 is a great, anywhere from $50 to $100. And again, I'll be talking about that a little bit later in this call. For those of you that might be watching on YouTube later, it is at listingstoleads.com/blog. And there's a lot of great stuff right here. All right, I'm just going to take a quick minute. The daily open house marketing and mastery calendar. If I open that up, this links to our open house training. Again, at 5 o'clock today, we're going to be doing the training on that one. But look at this. Every single day, I give you activities to take to promote that open house. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Your listing or borrowed. All right. All of this is appropriate, whether it's your listing or a borrowed listing. So again, if you are not at a point where you are satisfied with your business, right, in the number of deals you're getting, either buyer or seller, doing open houses every single week, using the Listings to Leads tools that we're going to be walking through. Both in this call, I'll be walking through a lot of them, but at 5 o'clock today, in the next StreamYard call, we get into the open house stuff specifically. So I would stay on the call right now. We'll walk through how to market your listings, how to generate both buyer and sellers, buyer leads, seller leads, but buyers and sellers from that. And then attend the open house training tonight to get into the specifics for the open house. Because there are some things with the open house that I'm going to really recommend that you do to get a lot more sellers in particular from that open house. And again, that's yours or borrowed. It really doesn't matter. All right, so let me go ahead and close that out. All right, now I'm on the dashboard. Now, if you don't have a listing to market this week, or again, if you're watching on a recording on YouTube and or Facebook even, and what you can do is click the add listing button right here. And we've got a feature called Grab Listing. And some of our clients call that the magic button. And when this pop-up opens up, if you enter zip code and MLS ID number, click grab. If it's not your listing, you can uncheck it. If it is, you can check it. Either way, click grab, and that's going to pull that listing into the system. It's going to add all the photos, all the information for that property. It takes about 15 to 20, 30 seconds. The listing will pop up on your dashboard right here, and it will be ready to market. Absolutely easy to do. And before we even get into the marketing, I'm going to walk through the single property website. We get a lot of great compliments on the single property websites. Obviously, they're fully mobile responsive, but there's so many great things that you can do here, adding video. So I can put a video at the very top like you see here. I got my property description. I've got some side links over here. My schedule a showing, schedule a tour. Of course, all of my information right there. Your professional photos. So even if you grab a listing or if the listing comes in from a data feed, I recommend uploading your professional photos. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. those professional photos will look so much better than what comes in from a data feed. It can make a lot of a difference. So again, you can upload the photos. You can add a 3D tour. So if you're doing a Matterport or whatever, I can add that in here. I can even make it full screen, pop around, bring it back. One of the worst things I always tell people, because a lot of times your photographer is going to give you a free single property website, or Matterport, for example, gives you a link that you can market. They are not marketers. All right. Your photographer is not a marketing expert. Matterport is not a marketing expert company. They do what they do. We do what we do. So do not take those professional photos, upload them into Listings to Leads. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. I'll also show you how to add video, how to add the 3D tour. All right. You can even add community videos. So I can add a community video. So a lot of great stuff right there. And then you can scroll down a little bit later on your single property website. Again, remember we talked about the fact that quite a few of these buyer leads are going to have a home, and a lot of those are going to want to sell that home. So we automatically put your 100-point home marketing plan in the single property website. And then you've got your maps and local, Google Street View, another lead form. When do you plan to buy? We can help. You say, I've got another video. So that's property video, 3D tour, community video, client review video, all in one single property website. School information, an embed. So again, right, sellers are going to be on our single property website. A lot of times sellers, they don't start off their selling journey by getting a home value or reaching out to you and saying, hey, I want to sell my home. No, what they do is they start looking at homes either in their area to want to compare what their home is going to look like and what are the other homes and pricing and all of that. What are agents doing to market the property? They're going to be judging you based on the marketing that they see, but they also are going to look at homes in the area that they want to move to. And so we want to make sure that we got ways to engage those sellers, those homeowners that are going to think about selling. So we got the print brochures. We've got PDF guides. So again, buyers and sellers right here, they can scroll through, for example, 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. And it says, do you own a home? Do you need to sell? And they can download the guide right from your single property website, fully branded to you, all of your colors, all of your branding, everything is branded to you. And I got my client reviews. So we pull in client reviews from Google, Testimonial Tree, and Zillow automatically. You can add client reviews from anywhere. So you get a whole client review website, and then more of my listings and my footer right there. So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous single property website right there. So before we get into the marketing, let me just show you. Let me refresh my browser real quick, get the sidebar back. And then we're going to click edit. In fact, it was kind of funny today. We had a client in the mastermind group. She never knew where the edit was. And she literally said, you just opened up a new world for me. Now, I wasn't quite sure what she meant by that, but sounds great regardless. So when you got a listing in here, maybe you grabbed it. Maybe it came in from a data feed. Maybe you added it and need to come back and do some editing, like add a photo or add the photos, add a video. There's an edit button right here. So right below the property address, see where it says view? If I click view, that'll be the single property website. All right, so that's what we saw a minute ago. If I click edit, that will take me here. And in the edit section, I got a whole column. So the main area is going to be the status banner, the headline. Another client came into the mastermind group and was very excited to find out that you could actually add and edit tags. So if I want to put here, I'm going to add a tag for my name, and I'll add another tag for just listed, right? Whatever it is, whatever tags that you want to make sure it gets into your CRM, that it gets associated with the right follow-up plan. You can use ours as well. So we got some amazing follow-up plans for you via email and of course, AI text follow-up. The next item here is open house. So I can add my open house, click the green button, add the date and time. I got my photos. So here's where I can upload my photos, move them around. Keep in mind, when your listing comes in from a data feed or you grab it and we pull it in for you automatically, a lot of you will upload your photos into the MLS where like 3 or 4 images of the front of the house, 3 or 4 images of the kitchen, 3 or 4 images of the living room, and so on. So you're grouping your photos together. I highly recommend make sure the first 5 photos are telling a story so that when they're going through the single property website, you're not forcing them to look at 4 photos of the front of the house or 6 photos of the kitchen all back to back to back. Use the first 5 photos to give a nice representation of the entire property. So I got a front of the house, I got the living room, kitchen, here we got a wine room, and then the backyard. So pick the 5 photos that are going to show off different parts of the property. And I would really suggest move them around so that as I'm looking at your single property website, as I'm looking at a Facebook ad, that I don't see the same photo time after time after time all in a row, especially in the beginning. You can do that after the first 5 or 6 photos. Then I can show, here are 3 more photos of the front of the house. Here are 6 photos of the living room. I think you get the idea there. You can add videos in 3D tour. So I can either upload a video file, put a YouTube or Vimeo link, and put embed code. So I should be pretty easy. If you ever need any help with that, let our support team know. You got autoresponders, appearance. So this comes off the profile. You normally wouldn't have to mess with this, but if I wanted to, for whatever reason, I can come in here. Seller information. This is really critical for the listing agents. If you're borrowing the listing, you won't have this option. That will be grayed out, because if you're borrowing a listing to market, the seller is not your client, so you won't have access to this. But if you are the listing agent, please make sure to get that in there. And seller's email, the salutation in particular. And there are some tools that we're going to be showing a little bit later where we send the seller, we got the traffic report and a few other things, but there are some tools that we're going to send out to the seller that are going to help you get free leads. And we've had clients get listings and buyers from just those tools alone. So yeah, please make sure you got that right there. Sections at the listing level. So at the listing level, if you add a property video in the previous section and you want to add another video, item like that that's specific to the listing, I can do that right here by clicking add section. And here's where I added my 3D tour from earlier. And I just click code, I put in the embed code, and now I've got both, not just a property video, but I got a property video and a 3D tour. And you'll see some other items down here that you can mess with as well. In fact, this is what the client was looking for earlier today under preferences. She wanted to turn off forced registration. So depending on how you went through the wizard and you got your account set up, and you can also do this in the profile so that all of your listings have the same settings all the way through. But she wanted to share this with somebody specifically, and she didn't want forced registration to be on. So she just came in here. Global settings was checked, so she unchecked that, unchecked forced registration, and click save. So a few items there for edit that I think can be important for you. And then let's come back to market listing. All right, video chat. Matthew, what do you mean by video chat? You can add You can add a chatbot to all of your listings. So if you want to add a chatbot to your single property website, you can do that as well. Get with our support team on that in case I don't have time to show that today. But yeah, you can definitely add a chatbot. And that way, when somebody sees your single property website, they could literally chat with you. Now, in the overview, so there's an overview section right here. There's two things in particular I want to point out to you. One is the step-by-step guide. Click Learn More. And this is the call that we are on right now. So we update that every time that we do one. And then in here, this is where I just walk you through everything as if we were sitting next to each other. So if you scroll down this page, and I highly recommend checking this out once in a while, right? Facebook and Instagram ads. So this is different from a support post or a how-to video. This is as if we were sitting next to each other and I was just walking you through how to do everything. So imagine we're in your office, we're in the training room, we're in a cafe, and I'm just literally walking you through all of these items. And there's one item on here that is not on the checklist, and that is how to do an Instagram, Facebook story, TikTok, YouTube short, where you can put in links and polls. And if I click here to see examples. And here, check this out. So here is an Instagram story, and I've got a link to a single property website right from my Instagram story. There's a poll, looking to buy a home in the next 12 months. Yes, send me the home buying guide. No, I need to sell my home. Here is another listing, and I got a link, get the guide, 6 things to check before buying a home, right from Instagram, or right when I'm in my stories, they can download the guide. Down here, I got another poll. Is this kitchen your vibe? Yes, we'll cook there every night so people can engage with your content on Instagram, on TikTok. Here's another one, open house in Folsom. Again, a link to the single property website. Here's another one, free ultimate guide to buying a home download. So right from my Instagram story, right from, I believe, TikTok as well. And let me show you. So again, this is the step-by-step guide. Right here, how to do Instagram story with links and polls. Click that, that'll take you to the training video and then TikTok. So definitely check that out later. Let me just close that. I'm going to close this, come back into market listing. So first item, all we're going to do, we're just going to work all the way our way down, right this list. And again, everything on this list is also here in the guide. And real quickly, the checklist, if I click download there, and you also see a nice little overview video that's going to walk you through things if you need that. And let me click download. There we go. Checklist. And right here. So this is a nice thing to print up, especially if you're newer with Listings to Leads and you want to make sure that you don't forget something, or, you're going to get busy, you're going to wander off, you're going to go to a showing, you're going to take a phone call, you're going to go to lunch, you're going to whatever, you're busy. We know that. So the checklist right here can be kind of nice to print. I know it sounds ridiculous, but clients love it that use it. Just print it up, and that way you can just check off as you get things done. So it's just a nice little resource for those that want it. But let's go to Facebook and Instagram ads. And remember, if you go to listingstoleads.com/blog, I think 3 or 4 posts down, there's the how to, if you're struggling with Facebook ads, watch the 2 videos. And in its simplest form, all you have to do is confirm location. We're going to use the location of the property itself, radius of 15 miles, default for special housing ad category. We're going to do a lifetime budget. It's going to default to $35 for 1 week. And that is just because that's the minimum. But your real minimum should be $50. And click create ad, and you're good to go. So that's the easiest and quickest way to do a Facebook ad. I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to walk through some of the common mistakes that people make. and a couple of the edits that you might want to do. And Matthew, this would be for you to look at. Now, one of them is, and actually I showed this in the mastermind group the other week. In fact, I wonder, give me a second here. If I go to the mastermind group, and let me see, I should have brought this post up before, but I don't think it'll be too far down. Let me see here. Scroll. Hope your eyes aren't getting dizzy. I apologize for that if so, because I put in a screenshot. Here we go. Nope, not that one. Oh, that is a good one. Sorry about this, everybody. I didn't think it was that far down. I guess it was a little further down than I thought. Let's just try. Give it a few more seconds here. Let's see if it comes up. Man, next time I'll bring this up because it's actually a really good. It actually speaks exactly to what Matthew was asking about. Oh, Matthew, that's you. Oh, that's so funny. Awesome. That's hilarious. Oh man, I didn't think it was that far down. All right, you know what? I know where it is in my account. I'll show it to you a little bit later. Oh, God, I'm an idiot. I think it's right here. Yeah. Right. Yeah, right there. So do you see this right here? Sometimes I'll run an ad like this right here, and then I'll wander off and forget to turn it off because I'm not an agent anymore. So let me just turn that off right now. But check this out. $10.43. So this came in at like 5 something a lead. And then this one came in at $3. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's almost twice as much. Now it's not as dramatic as $10 a lead. One of the things, if you just turn the ad off and rerun it, if everything else looks good, you can find that ad that was performing really badly, like $10 a lead, with nothing else being changed, absolutely nothing else. All you did was you turn the ad off, like I just did, turn it off, and then I go back to create ad, and I just look at everything, and everything looks good. If I click create ad, sometimes Facebook just gets on a really crazy, awful audience run with your ad. And for some reason, it's just a very bad performing ad. And so what I always tell people is every day you should be looking at your cost per lead. And if it's under $5 typically, then I would let the ad keep running. If you're over like 5 or 6 or 7 in particular, I would stop that ad and just cancel it. Come in like I'm going to do right now. We're going to take a look at a couple of things right here to fix, and then we should do better the next time around. So a couple of things here that you should do. One, if you did a lot of edits to the text, you might want to just go back to our default. I find most of the time the top performing ads are the ones that really don't change much. All right, now you can do whatever you want, but if you just leave this text as default, you're going to get typically a lower cost per lead. The other thing is the template. So remember I mentioned earlier about your photos? If I click change template right here, the blue button, if I scroll down just right below that main image, come down here, and sometimes people use a single image with their photo on it. You could use Canva. So if you got custom images in Canva that you want to use, you can upload them in here as well. Although I recommend using this template right here. Major top image, and then the second row with 3 other images. But as I was mentioning earlier, if you've got 4 images that are subpar, like, and I see this all the time, it's crazy. All 4 will be the front of the house, or like a side of the house, a staircase, and some random picture of a closet. Like I've literally have seen this before, and I'll look at that and just be, who would even be interested in clicking on that ad, right? It's just not a great image to spend money promoting And if I was a seller, I wouldn't be too happy with you. So I want to see 4 good photos in this template. So click right here. In the top left, it says edit. And then every image now can be edited. And I can edit the color. I can edit the text at the top right. So notice every image at the top left of every single image. Now I'm not going to do it, but you can see here now I can select a different image. I can click on it, click upload, and that will replace the image that I clicked. Does that make sense? So I want to make sure I got 4 good images. Another thing is, let's say, and I've seen this before. Let's say it was like this. All right, so it's kind of blending in a little bit. So you see how that new construction in Folsom is blended in a little bit? I have with the client, the only change I made was coming in here, and his was more of a Mediterranean style house. And the coloring he had was more like this kind of a gold color, which, can look great. But with the Mediterranean style house that he had, it blended in a lot. And all I did is I came in and I changed it to like this red. Notice I can move it around. I can use RGB. I can use RGBA, right? You can play around with the slider a little bit. And so making sure you got 4 good photos that you might, again, maybe your tone on tone looks really good and maybe it's working well for you. Awesome. I love that. But sometimes it can, where the contrast, like this red to the images, can really make it pop out and grab people's attention. Because what advertising, we got to get their attention. And then once we have their attention, we got to have nice photos. So these 2 things alone as well can really come in. Oh, and one more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to edit the text. Now I could say just listed. I could say deal of the week, right? I could say new construction, whatever I want. So here I'll say deal of the week. So this is for those of you that don't have a listing to market this week. Find a listing to market, okay? Find a listing to market. Ask your broker if you don't know how to borrow listings from somebody. A lot of companies, right? I believe EXP, LPT, Keller Williams, maybe you've got carte blanche to borrow listings from other agents in your company. I'm sure if you just go to your broker, no matter what company you're with, and you tell your broker, I'm using Listings to Leads, and Scott said I need to market someone's listing every single week. How can you help me find a listing in the office here to market? Your broker is going to love you. So ask your broker if you need to. Sharon, the only thing I would say is, and thank you for the question. You can't market the same listing over and over and over and over again. So for those of you that have listings and, it's been on the market for a couple of months, and you've been advertising it week after week, you're going to notice you're going to start flaming out on it. At some point, your cost per lead is just going to rise because people are tired of looking at it. Now, that said, and it may seem contradictory, but it's not, you can totally find, and I had a client do this. It was like a 4 or 5 month old listing, and she generated over 160 leads at like $2 a lead. It was because here's the thing. Your audience, Sharon, is different from the listing agents or from whoever was marketing it before. So the people that see your ad are not going to be the same people necessarily, or even, a large percentage, right? Most of the people are probably going to be different than what saw the ad when it was marketed with somebody else. So you could literally get 2 or 3 people marketing the same listing, and you all could do very well marketing that listing at the same time. All right. Randall, thank you for the question. I'll make sure I add that. I'll show you that a little bit later here. What are the most images we should have? Cindy, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could have 50 or 60 images, no problem. But in the template here, we just want the best 4 images you got. And that'll help make sure that you got a great ad on Facebook. All right. So again, let me go change template. And I wanted to change the template back to this one. Click save. No, the only thing I will say about images is you don't need 4 photos of an empty second bedroom. You really don't. I don't need 17 photos of the kitchen. Even when I was an agent, I worked in San Francisco for one of the top agents in the city. We're talking 2, 3, 4, $5 million homes. Very rarely would he have more than 25 images. And he would say, I only want the best images so that when people are clicking through, they don't get bored of looking at, and I've seen this, right? Like literally 7, 8, 9, 10 pictures of a empty kitchen, of an empty living room, 3 or 4 images of a second empty bedroom. You don't need it. You literally don't, you don't need to use every single image that was given to you. The images in the ad are kind of the tip of the spear, but even the images in the single property website, the goal is to get people to the property. And that's why when you read Jordan Cohen's book, right, Agent's Edge, he doesn't like 3D tours, because he's like, why would I want to give somebody a 3D tour online? Because all they're going to do is they're going to go through that listing and they're never going to come into the house half the time. And so he goes, I want them to call me up. I want them to come to the property. I want them to click my ad and reach out to me through the ad. But if they got the 3D tour where they're clicking through and they see everything, well, they're going to see, a bedroom or a closet maybe that looks a little bit odd, or maybe it looks too small or too dark in the 3D tour or your 15th photo. And because of that, they don't schedule a showing or they don't come to your open house. Does that make sense? Can you connect a CRM to L2L? Yes, you can. And I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. So I will make sure every CRM, and we want you to connect your CRM. And Randall, what CRM do you use? All right, but let's keep going because I got 25 minutes. I don't want to keep people here longer than you need to be. The social media post, that should auto post automatically. When you set up your account, you went through a get started wizard, you connected all of your socials. And so this will auto post automatically. But if you need to come in here, I can schedule to repost it. I can post it again right now. Every time you change the status of the listing, it's going to repost again with the new status. We can take a look at a listing right here. Oh yeah, Wise Agent for sure. Yeah, definitely. All right, people, there's my post. People click the image and they're right back to the single property website. And again, the beautiful thing is, imagine you're using a single property or your IDX. I would not use there's no SEO benefit of using your IDX. All right. There just isn't, unless you're doing 300 listings a week, which you're probably not. But we want people to get to here, because here, even if you don't realize it, I bet half of you didn't even know that your 100-point home marketing plan from listings to leads is in every single virtual tour and single property website. Every single property website and virtual tour has the PDF guides. And I bet some of you generated leads from those and didn't even realize where that lead was coming from. All you knew was like, oh my God, I got a new lead for a PDF guide, but you didn't know where it came from. That might be where it came from. So look at those lead notification emails. So earlier I talked about the tools for the seller. Remember I said, make sure to add the seller's information. So right here, share on seller social media. And this and the email, the e-flyer right below it, phenomenal. Free leads. You can get dozens of leads. People get listings, people get buyers from this. It's so phenomenal because your seller is hopefully going to be a referral source for you. And the seller can be a referral source before you even get their home sold. So if you are a listing agent, you need to make sure you're using this tool, because the sellers absolutely love it, right? Dustin Fox, Eric Pearson, others as well use this tool, and they get listings, they get buyers from it. So what you do, click the green send a seller button. If you didn't add it earlier, like I mentioned, put in the seller's email right there and salutation, dear Lauren and Ian. Click send. They are going to think you just sent this to them specifically, because it's going to be your email address it's coming from. and they're going to get a great looking email. I'm going to walk through that in a second. There's also an email here, and we want to do the same thing. Click the green send to seller. Make sure everything is there. Click send. And then we're going to be CC'd. So you're going to get the email as well. So let me just pop up real quickly here and let me refresh my email. Give me a second here. I'm on my other monitor. Perfect. Here's the email. So this is for the social media post, and there's another one for the e-flyer. And so in this one, it's letting the seller know to copy and paste this into their Facebook page. Now, here's the deal. You need to call them up. And I'm going to role play with you real quickly. So the role play would look something like this. Hey, Matthew, Scott here. Just want to let you know that we got your property up on Facebook. The ad should be live here pretty quickly. It's on Zillow. It's on Trulia. I got a social media going out in a little bit, and we got a lot of other great marketing that we're doing. I sent you a couple of things, one to put on Facebook. So you're going to get an email, and it's going to say a social media post, and it's going to have a picture of your home on there. Just take the part in the box and copy and paste that to your Facebook page. Because in this crazy market, you likely know people who know people that would love to look at homes and maybe buy a home in the area, right? Between friends and family and everything else out there. And with the way the market is, I don't want to leave any stones unturned. So if you can take the email for the social media post, paste that to your Facebook page, and then the second email is going to be e-flyer that you can just share with people. And your sellers are going to love it because you just told them all the things that you're doing outside of this. You're staying in communication. The email and the photos look great. All right. That looks fabulous. And then when the seller puts it on their Facebook page, now all their friends are going to start seeing it. And their friends are going to start commenting, and they're going to click. They're going to get to, let me click right here. Oh, yeah, popped up on my other monitor. Give me a second. I'll bring it over here. So when they click that post, well, they go right back to the single property website. And so what I would make sure that you do is after the seller puts it up on their Facebook page in particular, go like the post and just leave a really quick comment. Looks great. That's all you have to do. And that way, every time somebody else starts commenting on it, and even when they, depending on how the notifications work, but when people start liking it, you're going to be, you'll be able to see that and get a lot more engagement. And if somebody asks a question, you can I would like their comments. So if anyone comments on that from the seller's page, I would make sure to like it so that they kind of see, oh, there's Scott Pierce. He's the realtor. And it just helps me going to connect to many more people. And some are going to reach out to you. Some are going to click through and get a home value. They're going to download a guide because they know the seller. The seller essentially just referred you out to all of them via both social media and email. So in the email, they're going to click as well through the email, and it will go right to the single property website. So when this email is forwarded from the seller, all right, people click single property website. And again, your name, your branding, your picture, your logo, all that stuff being forwarded by the seller to their friends, to their family, to the sphere of influence. So it doesn't get much better. And it drives me absolutely nuts when people don't do that. Does that make sense? So Sharon says, what was the name of the book? The name of the book was Jordan Cohen. So Cohen, Jordan. Yeah, Jordan Cohen. It's either The Agent's Edge or Agent's Edge. I got the hard copy and I got the audio book. All right. Great question. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we got print marketing, the nearby homeowner letter, postcards, and door hangers. If you haven't, I definitely recommend right under your affiliate link is success stories. I'm going to right click and open up into a new tab. And I just want to show you 13 listings in one farm from this letter. So he uses the just listed and just sold. There's about 100. That's showing just sold, but he does just listed and just sold. Right there. I mail letter for just listed and just sold. And He's a 13 listings in 1 year. So how do you use this tool? A couple of ways you can do it. First of all, it sits in an editor. So if I want to edit this a little bit, I can. But you can see here it says, "Hello, hope you have a great week. Just want to let you know that 5530 Douglas is just listed for sale." This is so good for when you do an open house. This letter as an invitation to the nearby neighbors is phenomenal. And it's got a QR code that people can scan. They can send a text code. It's got the great URL. And it lets them know that when the home has sold, it's going to affect their home value. And so they can get a home value here. But as you saw earlier, they're also going to get the home value landing page right there as well. So this letter, you want to get this, you want to use this letter 2 times over the course of the listing if it's your listing. If you're borrowing a listing, really the only way you can use this on a borrowed listing is an open house. And it's using it to invite the neighbors to your open house. But if it is your listing, use it at just listed, unless you're going to do an open house. Then I would do it for open house. Corey apparently doesn't do open houses, so he just does just listed and just sold. If you have a listing that's active and you haven't used the letter yet, by all means, use it for your active listing. All right, so we got coming soon, just listed and active. Excuse me. So use it as active, but I want to use it once while it is for sale. And then some people will do both pending and just sold. I would make sure to at least to do it at one of those two, probably just sold, but pending can be great as well. And so what you're going to do is you can click. Now, I would not use our print and mail service because you want that. The key of the letter is to make sure that it looks like it was a personal letter so that people are going to be more likely to open it up. So you want to try to use a service. And I'll give you a couple. I'll give you, I think, 3. Mailbox Power, Thanks.io, and Zaire Mail. I know, kind of a funny name, ZAIR Mail. Let me go to the homepage. And I believe they've got the handwritten font option, but you do not want to mail that letter. Now, a lot of people do it on their own, or they'll hire a kid to do it, or maybe an older person who's not working anymore, but they pay them $50 to say, hey, print 100 of these letters, and here are the addresses to get address them and send them out. If I click download, I can download as JPEG, so that would be for Mailbox Power. PDF, I believe, would be for Thanks.io and Zaire, but you got the 2 different options right there. And you've also got the postcards and door hangers, and those are great as well. But this nearby homeowner letter, especially if you want a door knock. So if you have more time than money, I would take this and I would just door knock my neighborhood, because again, why are open houses so good? Open houses are so good because you are now face to face with people. And with the way we do our open house training or open house mastery, we walk you through how do I not only market that open house, but how do I do the open house, right? How you do the open house is actually probably more important than how you market the open house. Because once I get people into the home, how am I going to engage them? What is the setup, right? How am I going to make sure that as people are coming through that door and try to get as many people to come through that door as possible, how do I go from them wandering around the house to actually engaging and becoming a buyer or a seller? And I have a client that I work with, 2 open houses in a row. I haven't talked to him this weekend yet, from his open houses this weekend, but 2 open houses the previous weeks, multiple buyers and sellers coming out of those open houses by doing the open house marketing and open house mastery training that we teach. Absolutely phenomenal. But door knocking is amazing. All right. But again, you can door knock and waste your time, or you can use this, and people love this for door knocking because it relates to a property near that door, near that home. And so when I door knock with this letter, I'm gonna knock on the door, take a few steps back. I know I've always done that, right? I'm kind of a 6'2" guy, so when I'm too close to the door, it can be a little bit intimidating. Me, I'm not intimidating. But always take a few steps back. And if they come to the door, and I've gone door knocking with people, so I got firsthand experience with this. They open the door and they're like, yeah. And you just hand them the letter. Hi, my name is Scott Pierce with Eldel Realty, and 5530 Douglas down the street just listed for sale. And I just wanted to make sure to give you some information about it. It's a great property. It's listed at, have a nice conversation and just try to open up dialogue with people. All right. If someone, you're going to be able to read their body language if they want to talk a little bit or maybe get a little bit more information. But at a minimum, when you use this tool, this is why when it goes pending, when it goes just sold, man, if you're to door knock those same homes 2 or 3 times, and they get to like, oh, it's that tall guy again, right? It's that goofy looking dude again. He's over here knocking on my door again. Because now listen, now Randall, when I'm knocking on your door, what am I saying? Hi, just want to let you know that 5530 Douglas is now pending. Right? I'm the one that came here a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago to let you know about it being just listed for sale. Well, now I've got it pending. And then about a month later, I'm going to come back through with the just listed. And I want to be face to face with people because what do I want them to put a face to the sale. So make sure I would door knock this letter. Even if you just take an hour, you've got an hour or two in a week, right? At some point this week, you have got an hour or two, unless you just got so many, like if you're a team leader, of course you don't. I get that if you're a team leader. But if you are an agent, I promise you've got an hour or two to door knock with this letter around your listing, if it's your listing. And again, if it's not your listing, try to get a listing to market for an open house and then use this letter as the invitation to invite the neighbors to the open house. Can you send yeah, for sure, Randall. So Randall says, great question. Can you send a letter of property that sold a couple of months ago? For sure. You would have to add that listing as manual. I'll walk through that here in a little bit, Randall. So if I forget, remind me, say, hey, how do I add that listing manually to my account? But here are the postcards, right? There's the front, got a QR code, text code, the URL right there. I think they look gorgeous. And it's funny because, we've had these postcards forever. And when I read Jordan Cohen's book, Agent's Edge, I realized that we follow his training in a sense in a lot of our marketing, right? Notice your picture. I mean, I know you're all beautiful, you're stunning, but the front of that postcard, we want to highlight the property. So I got just listed, URL, text code, QR code, and then the back of the postcard. I'll make that a little bit bigger. When this home was sold, will affect your home's value. I'd like to invite you to find out. These postcards do great as well. So these postcards are phenomenal. So if you're just one of those people, you're not into using letters, I get it. I don't, I'm not going to, bother you over it. But the letters will work better typically. But hey, maybe you just want to do the postcards. They are phenomenal. And the door hangers. Door hangers are very cool as well. Put them right on the door. Now, I will say, if you're going to go door knocking, and I learned this we got so lucky because I bought these. And then when I went door knocking with the agent a couple of months ago, I took these with us. And so what we did is, I'll show you. We took the letter, right? Here's the letter. Oh my God, it's so funny. I got a bag right here. So we would fold the letter. I fold it like this so that now here's the top of the letter. Make sense? So there's that letter, right? Here's the back of it. And I just put it in here. So if the people weren't home, that the people weren't home, I didn't just drop it in their door or mailbox. And now I can put it right on their door. And they're going to see that on the outside. All right. So they're going to walk up to the door. They're going to see that facing out. They're like, oh, what is that? And they're going to open it up. They're going to look at it. And they're going to probably keep it. So yeah, Randall, excellent idea. I'm going to try to keep it quick here. There's a couple of really more important things I want to make sure we get to. Circle prospecting script. If you're going to pull a list where you got phone numbers, you run them against the DNC, don't get yourself into trouble. But this is a phenomenal script to call those homeowners if you got the phone numbers. Very important. This e-flyer for your database. You know your database is critical, and it's not rocket science. Staying in touch is not rocket science. So this is phenomenal. Even if it's a borrowed listing, even if it's not your listing, this e-flyer is going to help you, because you're going to send this out and then you're going to gasp. You're going to call through your database. You're going to call 10 to 20 leads in your database, and I got a script for you. Now, if you got all your leads in Listings to Leads, click the green Send Now button. Select the leads you want to send it to, right? All, or again, my buyer. Now, keep in mind what I said before. A lot of times sellers come through as a buyer lead first because they see a property that might either be in their area, just capture their attention, whatever it is. So I would send this to all of my leads. I would send it to everybody. And then, of course, you can go copy code. Now, one thing I didn't mention, when you click on this, check this out. We're letting people know the property is for sale. It doesn't have to be our listing. This could be the listing that we borrowed to market. People click that, they go to the single property website. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you see here, when this home is sold, it will affect your home value. People click there, they go to the home value landing page, and they can fill this out and become a seller lead right from that e-flyer. So if you don't send this e-flyer out, your database isn't going to know that you are a great real estate marketer. So when they get ready to buy or sell, they're not going to be thinking about you as much. So to get this to let's say I want to use Follow Up Boss or Wise Agent, copy code, go to your CRM, right? Navigate to where you're going to send the email, and then there'll always be a button. So here in Follow Up Boss, it says insert HTML. Sometimes it can say insert source, ask your CRM support if needed. And then when that box comes up, it'll be empty. Just paste in what we copied from Listings to Leads. Remember, so in Listings to Leads, we clicked the copy code button. We navigated to the email, we pasted it in. And now we've got a beautiful email. It works the same as it did in Listings to Leads. So send it out from Wise Agent, send it out from KV Core, Follow Up Boss, Lofty, whatever. And then after you send it, I would wait 5 to 10 minutes. And then I would click Database Call Script and start calling through your database. Don't be rude. Don't be a forgetful agent. Don't be an invisible agent, right? Don't wait to call your database when you don't have any commissions coming in the next 2 or 3 months, and now you're desperate. We want to call before then. Phenomenal script, right? Hey, Randall Scott here at Listings to Leads. Want to let you know that 5530 Douglas and Folsom just listed for sale, right? Is for sale, is coming soon. We're having an open house, whatever it is. I sent you an email. So this is a Did You Get phone call. I sent you an email with a link to the single property website with all the photos and details. I just want to make sure you got that. If you didn't or you can't find it, let me know and I'll send it back to you. Or you could go ahead and text 1001-25678 and get the virtual tour sent to you. And with the way the market is now, I just wanted to let you know. That's all. I just want to let you know. I know it's a crazy market. You may or may not be thinking about buying or selling, but again, I just want to let you know. And we got 3 options. Do they own a home near the listing? Do they own a home not near the listing? Or are they a buyer lead? So pick your poison. If they own a home in the farm area, you're going to say something to the effect of when the home sells, it will affect the value of your home and others near it. Would Randall@wiseagent.com be the best email to send your new updated home value to once this property sells? Right? And he's going to say, oh, yeah, that is my email address or whatever. And you're going to have a conversation with people. Even if you leave a voicemail, it's better than nothing. So please, please, please call through your database. I'm going to try to be quick here and let's get through this. Short form video script. Again, if you are looking for more visibility, if you are looking for more free leads, more free engagement, you got to use this tool, right? All of this stuff works together, right? Because I want someone, when they see my Facebook ad, to think, oh, I think I saw him on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, right? When your ad is out there running solo and it's got nothing else, no letter, no emails, no videos, no nothing, you're making your ad work a lot harder. And you're going to probably get, it's just, you will do better when all of the stuff is working together for you. So it's a phenomenal script. You can use it word for word, paraphrase, inspiration, however you want to use it. But what people do is click the green send a button. That'll be your email. And if you're on the phone, what you can do is just copy and paste this into your teleprompter app. Or you can send it to yourself and then from your phone, copy and paste into your teleprompter app. If you don't know how to use a teleprompter app, click the how to use a teleprompter app button. All right. And that'll walk you through for the third or fourth time how to use a teleprompter app. It's all right there for you. So do that. Get that out the door. Now, the last thing I'm going to walk through is, give me a second. Let me get this. You want to get the status writers. If you're the listing agent, you want this on your yard sign. You want the sign writers on your yard sign. In fact, give me a second here. Let me bring up, where is, I had the image a little earlier. There we go. Oh, I'm going to bring this over from my other monitor. You want your yard sign to look something like this. And this will generate listings. This will generate buyers. So you want the top of the yard sign to have the status. So if you got coming soon, it should say coming soon. If you got just listed, active or for sale, and then open house. If you got an open house this weekend, go to your association, go to the Amazon, get open house and get that on your yard sign. And the other thing is get a flyer box. I know it sounds goofy, but the listing flyers are going to help you generate leads as well. And so I would have these at my open house, have them at the listing. They're going to have a QR code. They're going to have a text code, and they're going to have also a call to action to generate seller leads as well. Give me a second here. Got another question. Let me see if I can pop that up. Yeah. I'll show that to you in a second. Yep. So here, and the colors of everything are completely customizable, and they're typically going to be your brand colors. But for the sign writers, it's a QR code, URL, text code. So 3 different ways. If I go back to the sign writers under customize, and I can go give me red, save it. Might take a few seconds to regenerate. And then there's some other tools, right? Sign writers, blog post, Craigslist, QR code, traffic report, YouTube listing video. So take a look at that stuff a little bit later as well. So Sarah, that's going to just recycle. Then they're going to be whatever color. So you got RGB that you can use. So if you got a particular brand color or whatever that you want, go ahead and you can add that there. Hopefully that answered your question. Can you connect to CRM? Yes. So if we're good on the marketing, I apologize for going a little bit long, but under profile, I'm going to show you how to connect to your CRM. So CRM integration right there. And quite a few are in the list. We've also got Wise Agent right there, Zapier, API Nation, other. So other would be, if it's not on the list, your CRM will most likely have what's called a lead forwarding email address. It's not going to be your regular email address. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some kind of funky looking thing. And you're going to get it from your CRM. Ask your CRM support if needed, and just drop it right there and click save. Yep. Right. Drop it right there, click save, and you will be good to go. All right. And let's go back to the sign writers, see what they look like in red. See if they came up yet. I'm sure they did. Oh, let me show you. Randall, if you're still on the call, and this is for all of you. If you've got now, I cover this in the pending and sold training, but just since we're all here together right now, if I go to add listing manual, because you can't pull in a listing that sold, previously, status. Now you got listing presentation, amazing. But just so here's the deal. I bet a lot of you didn't even think about this. Just sold selling agent. If you have a buyer that, even if they're in contract, I've had agents, clients, they will add the listing as pending, even if it's their buyer that's in contract. All right. Obviously, if you're the listing agent, you're going to want to do the pending marketing. That's one of my favorites. But even when your buyer is in contract, I've had people get listings marketing a pending listing where they were the selling agent, the Facebook ads, the nearby homeowner letter, all those tools. Okay. But we got just sold selling agent. So that's going to flip all the tools to reflect the fact that you represented the buyer, not the seller. And then we got, of course, just sold listing agent. Now, if it's too far back and you're not comfortable with just, you can do sold. So sold marketing. Do we hide the footer? Cindy, what do you mean by that? I don't get the question. Typically on the postcard, you're going to need that stuff. So if I go back to that listing, let's say that we were looking at here, just listed, green market listing button. So yeah, Cindy, give me a little more information on what you're asking me. I will click on postcards in a second, but now here's my red sign writers and postcards. Right there's postcards. And I downloaded it a little bit earlier. Let's just take a look at it. That's the front. Let's go to, excuse me. Let's go to the back of the postcard. Not to have our, yes, it is on the back. Exactly. It'll be on the back by default. Yes, 100%. Yes. So you'll see, I got the legal information, another call to action for the sell side, right? These postcards are great. Sometimes I'll see some post somewhere like, well, I sent out, 800 postcards and I got a couple of listings from it. I'm like, well, damn, I hope so. Right? I hope you did. And these are phenomenal as well. And you can do both, right? You could do, one thing you might do, you could do 100 letters to the homes closest around that property. And then maybe you send out 300 more, not to the same 100, but to another. So you pull a list of 400 homes, right? And, target 100 that you're going to do a door knock with, and then do 300 others with a postcard. That could be a great idea. Cindy, I don't know how I don't think we have any templates. Yeah, get with our support team or get into the mastermind group. But there's no template that we have with your picture on the front. These are flyers down here. So these are kind of weird. Like yeah, I mean, no, it says one-sided. So there's only one side to this. I think this is more like a card that people wanted for whatever reason. Yeah, but for the standard postcards, and I would only use the top 4, right? We got EDDM, we got jumbo, and then standard. And then we got the door hanger. So that's on the front, of course, as well, because, door hanger is one-sided. We got some other ones here. So just based on feedback from clients, right? They wanted something a little bit different. That's the front, the front. Yeah. So the only postcard templates, and I wouldn't even barely call them postcards, again, it's just a one-sided card. And I think this is more for door knocking than for mailing. But I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure. I just know we get requests from people, and so we'll add them to the account, but you'll never hear me training on, oh yeah, use one of these postcards down here. They're there, right? You can use them, but you'll only hear me training on the top 2 rows. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the one-sided. And to be honest, Cindy, I don't even know what the exact use cases for those. I don't know if they were door knocking or they were just mailing on one-sided post. I don't even know. I don't even remember at this point. It's been there for years. All right. Awesome, everybody. Listen, sorry. I apologize for keeping you long. Thank you for hanging out with me. Make sure to share this with everybody. Make sure to use your affiliate link. 15% recurring, no cap, no limit. We just raised our price recently to $95 a month. That includes text and IVR. And so with your affiliate link, what are you making now? $9, $10, $11, $12, $13, $14 a sign up. So it gets to be good money real quick with that affiliate link. So make sure you're using that as well. And Cindy, thank you for the question. Yeah, awesome. I love it. All right. How do you join the mastermind group? Go to Marketing Calendar. And I can't believe I didn't even show this. Anyway, so the Marketing Calendar kind of is what it is. It's awesome. We got presentations, open house mastery. If you got an open house coming up this weekend and you have not gone through this, I can't recommend it enough. This is what we're going to touch on this a little bit today at the 5 o'clock call. So join us for the 5 o'clock call if needed. And then resources. We got Facebook Mastermind Group right here. Click Join Group. If you're not a client, you'll have to apply is not the right word. What am I trying to say? You'll just have whatever. You'll have to fill out a couple of questions and then we approve you. Instagram, YouTube. So all of our videos are going to be here. So this is where we're at right now. Some of you may be watching us on YouTube or Facebook, what have you. Live webinars, support post, and our blog. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us as always. Hopefully, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. If you go to listingstoloads.com/open house, you'll see the invite there because it's the open house marketing. Join us on Facebook, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. East Coast. Click right there to register, and then you can join us at 5 o'clock. We'd love to see you then. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Randall. Thank you, Cindy, everybody else that was with us today. With that, I'll see you in the mastermind group a little bit later today, I'm sure, and I'll talk to you soon.